Good leprechaun will tell you the key to good Irish soda bread is don't get overworked. Don't overwork the dough, and don't you get overworked. I'm going to show you a really simple recipe that's going to get you in the kitchen, not just on St. Patrick's Day, but any time of the year to enjoy this simple, easy bread. We start with 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and that's in the standing mixer, and to it I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of sugar, and next to add a little bit of leavening, we're going to use 2 types of sodium bicarbonate, baking soda and baking powder. Baking soda, we're only adding 1 teaspoon because it's pure sodium bicarbonate and it really packs an oomph. Once you add water to it, both of these will create carbon dioxide, and that's what's going to give it bubbles and leavening. Now, baking powder, also sodium bicarbonate with cream of tartar and a little bit of cornstarch, has more staying powder than the baking soda, so that's why we add the 2. And I'm going to add a little bit of salt just to draw out all the ingredients that we're going to add so that you can really taste them. Makes sense to add them. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and I'm just going to give these a quick stir so that they're evenly incorporated in what will soon be our dough. I'm also going to add 2 tablespoons of caraway seeds. That's going to add a lot of nice flavor. And a cup of golden raisins, also called sultanas. You could add currants, dried currants, raisins, or even dried cherries or dried apricots, whatever you like, but these sultanas, or golden raisins, are traditional. So I'm just going to give them a stir again so that they're evenly incorporated. And something else that's going to add a little bit of tang and some leavening to our Irish soda bread is buttermilk. So I have a cup of buttermilk here, and to that I'm going to whisk in 1 large egg. And I like to crack eggs on a flat surface rather than the side of a bowl, because when you do it on the side of a bowl, sometimes those eggshells go in to the egg, and then you open it up and you have a better chance of getting eggshells into whatever it is that you're mixing if you crack it on the side. So on a flat surface, in it goes. And I'm whisking this beforehand just to make sure that it gets really incorporated into the bread. And we're going to try not to mix this bread too much. So whisking it together beforehand is going to give us less time stirring things around with that flour. Next, I'm adding a 1/4 cup of melted unsalted butter, and we're using melted butter because it'll incorporate into the dough much more easily. Next, we're going to add buttermilk and that whisked egg, and in that goes. And this is probably the most important step. That buttermilk and egg in there, we don't want it to get over incorporated, so I'm just going to stir just until it forms a dough. And that's where we stop. We're going to finish working this dough by hand. So it doesn't look like much right now, and we're going to just work it with our hands so that we get a nice round loaf. We don't want to knead the dough because, again, we don't want to get that gluten too excited. But we are going to just sort of turn it on itself just a few times so that you have a kind of like a giant scone. So there you have it. I'm going to put it onto a parchment-lined baking sheet and score a traditional X right on the top. Not too cheap, we're just scoring it. All we have to do now is pop it into a 350-degree oven, and in 45 minutes, we'll have Irish soda bread. Okay, so it's come out of the oven. We let it rest for 20 minutes, and now that it's cool enough to slice, we're diving in. Oh, wow, look at that. That's really beautiful. I'm going to put a little bit of butter on there. Oh, yum. And some say it's gilding the lily, but I like to have a little bit of preserves. Wow. For this recipe and a whole lot more, please visit us at almanac.com, and thank you.